Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 17, Week 4. Today, we're taking a look at Shadow Shaman's Swedish Shawarma, the Reedy team, taking on the Split Push Sprouts, the Code Line team. Uh, with me here today is, of course, Randy, the Doctor of Dota.
Yeah, I'm here.
Team Radiant team pick.
And it seems we're getting right into it. Split Push Sprouts are just going to pick up first pick a Baden, which, I mean, isn't surprising. The surprising thing to me is how infrequent this is, to be honest with you.
Team Bad.
Gonna respond with a Lich. This is whatever. I mean, you're not picking Lich explicitly thinking about a Baden, but he's not too great into him. Photic kind of ruins a lot of what he has. He can very easily, unintentionally heal him to full health. I like the Meepo ban by Reedy. Like as if Kenny Lavender was still with us today. Maybe the stand-in plays that, I guess. I did not really look into the stand-ins on Code Line team or Mitchie D on the Reedy team. I am of course overtly familiar with Boss. I'm sure you are as well. Again, the Rubik Nature's Prophet ban for Roxy Row. LC ban for Golden Dragon. Line taking out kind of a mix of guys up here, up front. Takes out the Faceless Void, and then mostly supports. Well, you got Witch Doctor, you got Earthshaker, who can, I guess, do anything he wants right now, if you want kind of like a mediocre support, or a mediocre pos 3, or a mediocre mid. He's like a 4 out of 10 in every role. Except one or, well, just one, where he is completely not worth having. Got the Windrunner, the OD. Both of those are most likely looking at J-Bay.
Seconds remaining.
Big boy LaCroix not famed for his OD play, to say the least, so I don't think they're going to be running that as a pos 3 much this season.
Radiant team pick.
Though, J-Bay does tend to pick whatever he wants, whether or not he's actually, like, ever played it before, basically, so it is kind of questionable exactly how effective a target comfort ban levied at J-Bay is.
5 seconds remaining.
Thinking hard here.
Dire team pick.
Gonna go with the Hoodwink. A little annoying for a Baden.
Classic.
Annoying for a Baden in the way that if he gets silenced or CC'd from some other means, it's no longer do you have that automatic ult.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And by stun through any other means, I mean not stun through any other means, just silenced. If you get silenced, can't ult. Unless Hoodwink has somebody more important to break, which is a distinct possibility, but we're one pick in, and so far that looks like the scenario.
Dire team pick.
VS coming up here. We've seen a lot of good VS play this week. He's a very popular hero at the moment, it seems. Flavor of the week.
10 seconds remaining.
Has to be up there, right? Like top 5 this season for pick rate, it feels like. And you never really see it banned either. It pretty much always gets through.
Radiant team pick.
Disruptor.
The Hollywood Disruptor, even though Hollywood's on a different team. This may come to backfire for Code Line. Now for the non-joke portion of this analysis, not a super fan. You've got one stun between the 3 of these heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
And that has been troublesome sometimes. Disruptor can also very easily end up in a situation where he has absolutely nothing to do in the game at all. Hard for VS to end up in that unfortunate scenario, but Disruptor can definitely just kind of be food for somebody and have very little impact otherwise.
Radiant team pick.
Darkseer coming up, that's interesting. That's a very interesting pick up here before you know what the cores are going to be. But if you do think about it, Darkseer is pretty much good into every single hero that Code Line plays, so... Kind of a 300 IQ pick. Well researched, whoever did that. 300 IQ pick which is kind of appropriate if you think about Darkseer's lore and everything. He is kind of a conehead.
Your life, like your head, lacks a point.
Such a good line. I wish I could say that on the Dota Plus line.
Batman's head does have a point. Look, his helmet.
Yeah, it's true.
Phantom Lancer.
Okay.
Very ballsy forward picks here from Reedy team. Saving J-Bay for last, unsurprisingly, I suppose. Main issue dealing with the split push sprouts is going to be their mid player, even if he's being stood in for. Which is a bit unfortunate for a poor Code Line who has to likely get a stand-in who is going to be at what Kenny Lavender's sign-up MMR was rather than what his actual MMR is. But even with that, it's still going to be the main target on this team, right? Like, the main focus of split push sprouts is going to be the mid and the support line. So, to that end, you see the support line, you know what it's going to be. You're not really all that afraid of what line's going to be coming out with.
Ember Spirit.
And they're going to be picking the mid here, which is probably a smart move, honestly. Honestly, probably a smart move. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, the Lich could catch him out off guard, which is kind of obnoxious. But Darkseer doesn't really do anything to the guy. PL needs to Super Ball, or else he's just food for the guy. Just gives Ember Spirit a great opportunity to beat everybody up using his illusions. Pretty good pick, and picking it there, let them dodge the oncoming bans as well. So they can use this time to get rid of the heroes they don't like to play this guy into.
Radiant team ban.
Interesting decision to ban the Pit Lord there. I don't think I would bet money on Pit Lord being the next one to come out. Necro ban there as well, another Kenny Lavender target pick. Makes me feel like Reedy perhaps had a list of heroes made well in advance of this game that did not really take the stand-in into account, perhaps? Or who was picking what? I mean, there is no way in hell Baden is being played by anybody but Golden Dragon this game. There's no way in hell they're playing Pit Lord anywhere else. And finally got the respect ban for the Ricky. Interesting. I don't really understand why Code Line keeps getting the Ricky respect banned. Don't think it's his best hero.
One day he's gonna get Ricky and he's gonna go 30-0.
True.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Huskar ban. Well, you know what JB picked last week, I suppose. Though I honestly think I would have let that through, to be honest with you. It is obnoxious to play Huskar into a Baden. You really can't do it. That's probably Golden Dragon's best hero, so it's like doubly bad.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's gonna own Ember Spirit for a few minutes, but just teleport, my man. Okay, it is gonna be. What the hell are you guys thinking?
I have a puzzle and let's go.
This isn't gonna work. I can already tell you looking at this isn't gonna work. Randy, pop quiz, why isn't this gonna work?
10 seconds remaining.
Not bad.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like it could work in another universe. Maybe I don't know.
Well, it's not
I
the
like
issue
Ember
of
in
pause
PL.
1. Here's
I
how it
don't
goes.
like Axe in any of these heroes.
I like him in a PL.
I like him in the PL in combination with the Ember. Against PL alone, he's trash.
You really underestimate Axe, I think. If I'm Axe in this game, I don't care about PL at all. I just kill him
Like
every
because
time I
Ember
Q.
Spirit is here. Because Ember Spirit is here, it's like a bad PL game. Okay, Timber.
But, here's the real politic. Abaddon into PL is very bad. Abaddon into Darkseer is horrible. Imagine silencing your own team. Why on earth? And it's Code Line playing it, which I mean, I guess, technically, hypothetically, Abaddon is Line's best hero. I guess. But, this is like a can't-win game for Abaddon Pause 1. This is like a nightmare scenario for him. There are not many games that Abaddon is not kit to do well in. This is one of those games, and instead of downplaying that weakness and sending him to the offlane, you're going to pick a different offlaner and send him to pause 1 to do even worse? So now you have nobody that scales, except for kind of the Ember Spirit, who barely even outscales like the Timber Saw, let alone the PL? I don't know, Chief. This ain't it. I like the Axe pick here. At least I liked it before the Timber came up. The Timber is a little annoying for him. Odwin can be as well. Like, I don't know. You gotta be smoking if you're... Or the Axe has to be terrible if you're playing PL into Axe and he's not getting shredded. Maybe Axe secretly has like a 30% win rate against the guy. Maybe he's so over-nerfed that that's just the long and short of it. But like... Especially with what P3 items are good right now, like, surely you just hit Q on him and hit Blade Mail and he dies, like, every time, if you get the real one. Which is the real trick to it, is getting the real one. But you hit Q on this guy, and every illusion that you take disappears, and if he's actually there, he's dead. A horrible, horrible situation for PL, a stun that he cannot really... He can't juke around it with his doppelganger, he cannot deal with it with BKB, even, not like you want to do that anyway. So a horrific, horrific scenario for the PL there. Only problem is, you have a pause 1 that's actually not going to have a game at all. Like, even by Code Line standards, there is no game that you're going to have here whatsoever. This is like an unimaginably bad pause 1 Abaddon game. So you have a pause 1 that's not going to do anything, and you have an Ember Spirit who is kind of good into PL and not really good into anybody else on the team. Is actually kind of particularly bad into the Timber Saw. Like, I don't really like that matchup for him, to be honest. The Flame Guard doesn't really do anything to counteract what Timber Saw does. And your abilities are not really gonna, you know, make him care in any way. Like, he can get raindrops, he's gonna, like, every Timber Saw is gonna get Eternal Shroud later on in the game. Once he gets Eternal Shroud, this Ember really cannot, like, do anything to him anymore. So now you have a mid-hero that you can't do anything against, and, oh, guess what? Is decent into Abaddon, unless he gets to Manta on top of his head, and is really good into your Axe. You have a PL who has one answer, but luckily that answer doesn't scale forever and is going up against a very bad matchup. And you have a Darkseer who's sitting there in the off lane for some reason. Okay. Or in the safe lane, rather, for some reason. Okay.
So we're scared of Abaddon for some reason? Interesting.
I think this is Reedy just respecting Code Line so little he just is like a free lane lament.
I'll farm against this guy. That's rough, dude.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, it's not like Darkseer does anything to Abaddon, but it's not like he does anything to Axe either. Very odd decision, but either way, I guess this means it's a better time than ever to go down our roster to do our roll call. So, on Team Shadow Shaman Swedish Shawarma, Pause 1 on the Phantom Lancer, you've got Reedy, who is currently about to get First Blood. Pause 2, you've got J-Bay on the Timbersaw.
A great combat.
Pause 3, you've got Big Boy LaCroix on the Darkseer. Pause 4, you've got Boss standing in for, well, standing in forever, I guess, for 2-7 on the Hoodwink. And pause 5, you've got Mitchie D standing in for, standing in for, I can't remember at the moment off the top of my head, on the...
Standing in for somebody.
Yes. On the other hand, on Code Line team, the Split Push Sprouts, pause 1, the man himself, Code Line on the Abaddon. Pause 2, you've got NotAvirus.exe standing in for Kenny Lavender on the Ember Spirit. Pause 3, you've got Golden Dragon on the Axe. Pause 4, you've got Pages by Dre on the Disruptor. Do you think for her it's called Bates?
Bates, maybe.
Yeah, Bates by Dre. And pause 5, you've got Roxy Row Row, don't panic, Vitruvius, on the Vengeful Spirit. Golden Dragon getting a little beat up here. He's doing fairly well so far for the last hits.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
And definitely was kidding to deal with a PL in this lane. Spoilers! Laning against the Darkseer, this Ring of Protection is literally useless. Just 175 gold down the drain, basically. Not really going to be able to build on anything either, unless you're going to take the very interesting decision to go Orb of Corrosion or Soul Ring on Axe, I guess. Oh, that's a good glimpse. The Axe is going to just assume the Hoodwink is dead, and indeed, it's going to go down. Axe is doing a little bone chewing.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Big Boy LaCroix is still second place for the last hits. Oh, Reedy, a bit unfortunate there. 8 in a Aphotic Shield Pop, and I don't think he really wanted to do that, to be frank. So far, I think maybe perhaps a bit of an underestimation of what Reedy would be getting into in this lane. He did get First Blood, and that's awesome. But he's also lowest on the left hits chart. He's not doing any better than Code Line right now, which is not the most fortunate situation. Big Boy LaCroix. Oh man, they glimpse Hoodwink back, but it's just a little too late, unfortunately, as Axe takes a tumble here. Still, at the very least, is going to give Pages a little 1v1 time with the big boy here, but bit unfortunate to say the least. Pages with a little bit of one-on-one time with the guy that in an alternate universe she would have been laning it with instead if Code Line had listened to me. You know, going for Diffie first. Also has a Glove of Haste queued up for some reason.
You meant that? Okay. He's skipping egg, or he's at least delaying eggs, I guess.
Yep.
He's like, I want to play late game, because I know it's impossible for line team to win late, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also not a bad match to just go in and go ham on the PL, really. You know, if you get an early Ags and you walk into a situation where, you know, Ember Spirit can hit W on your big cloud of illusions and kill you. If you don't, if you do more conventional old-fashioned PL in this game, then he really doesn't have the ability to do that. You're just kind of running around, beating everybody up, beating everybody to death with a more conservative amount of illusions, so you can't, like, feed on them. You can't just hit W and do a billion, you know, Battle Fury or Maelstrom damage, right? Code Line taking this lane very conservatively, which I guess isn't too surprising. This is a pretty bad matchup for him. Really needed to get that Avonic Shield off a little earlier, but he's gonna live anyway. Golden Dragon has the Ring of Health here. Looks like he's going for the old Hood of Defiance, which is no longer in the game.
Prepare for lesson.
Yeah, Ember Spirit pops up at top with DD and turns Lich into a stain on the floor. J-Bay is not going to be pushing the lane while Ember's out. I mean, not like he has much ability to do that. He's Timber, so instead he's going to be stacking a wave here quite inefficiently. Or stacking camp here quite inefficiently.
Dire are scanning.
Going to take a brief break, you know? Just take a minute to sit back and stack a camp and let Reedy get this Wisdom Rune. Golden Dragon's in trouble again.
Is blunted.
As was meant.
Feels like X should be doing a little bit better than this, especially having the cloak already. I think maybe, you know what, maybe I watch the full proceedings of what happens to him here, not just the moment of his death. Is it really just as simple as
I usually like my trees to myself.
What can you do?
yeah, it just gets donked by the hoodwink skills. Bushwhack damage with the Acorn Shot is quite a bit. Acorn Shot. I guess if there's one reason that the Ring of Protection does something in this lane, if there's one thing that gets it done, it is the Acorn Shot, though so far, to say the least, hasn't been looking like it's been doing anything. Has some region. He's actually put his Quelling Blade up to keep tangos out, which is interesting. And he ate a tango, okay. Ate a tango before he actually did anything. Timbersaw just lost Arc Boots over at mid, which is quite annoying, actually. Timber was busy behind the lines there, cutting the wave. Unsurprisingly, Timber is, right now, fairly favored at mid. Code Line, well, is dead.
Yes,
I guess there is definitely some positives panning out here, as far as this lane swap is going, because Big Boy's just owning this Axe. Axe is just eating tangos at full HP. What are you doing, Golden Dragon? What the hell is this? He's eating the. He ate. At least he did something with the health on that tango. I'm pretty sure there was at least one he ate where he didn't get literally anything at all from it. Going for a Vanguard here to block against all the damage coming out against him this lane. I mean, in fairness, it is going to be very necessary for the PL. It's a little rough. I don't think anybody really wants to give Vanguard in this patch. But in this game, you kind of need it. Paige turns on her hacks. About to say, maybe Axe could use some raindrops here. They don't really do anything to this. All the damage just over long, sustained periods of time. Makes a free wave for himself here. Only 1K net worth advantage for the Reedy team at this point. Oof, Ember Spirit has to get the hell out of town now. Ember Spirit really should probably just stop hanging out here. I mean, Timbersaw is also going to get to leave, which is kind of crap, but like every time Timber gets anywhere near this wave, Ember just loses half his HP. Like, it's not the best situation. Timbersaw coming up top, looking at Lion and Roxy. Oh my god, rip Roxy Row Row. VF just goes down in half a second. Bad ult comes out, but they have a lot of stuns to just keep it going. So Baden's ult does not really heal that much, and the man very quickly dies. Axe tries to TP top and then realizes, oh wait, I'm getting stunned and I have no HP anymore, so he just gets the hell out of dodge. Imba Spirit is here. Imba Spirit is hesitant, doesn't actually want to go out when the PL is still around. They're really worried about this guy. Here, look at the net worth chart here. It's no surprises on the board except perhaps how close the Ember and the Timber Saw are. He's been doing fairly well for himself in despite of everything that's been going on. Line decides to try and show up mid. Presumably somebody told him that Timber doesn't do much to a Baden, but unfortunately they failed to mention after you have Manta Style is a very important part of that. Disruptor is going to show here. In fact,
easy.
Yeah. Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
okay, it's not easy.
Difficult.
Actually, it's terrible.
Difficult. Oh my god, line. Oh my god,
No,
line.
Jimmy. Oh,
20
man.
HP. 20 HP on Timbersaw, 80 HP out of Baden. Timbersaw going blank here. I would genuinely be pretty shocked if he even came close to needing it in this game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Good line, sticking here at mid with low mana, low HP, and no ult.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But nobody on Reedy team? Okay, somebody on Reedy team cares. Goodbye.
Are fortified. Dire's top tower is
Maybe
under
not the
attack.
most ideal situation for a Baden to be in. I think when you're that low, you just let the illusions do the heavy lifting. Because you got a room for it, that was very lucky. Just let the illusions do the heavy lifting and take a powder, do something less, you know, dangerous. I mean, he is a Pozlan after all.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower
PL
has
takes
fallen.
out top T1.
Bloody bounty!
Flipper Sprouts kinda collecting on two different plays. Okay, a Baden, you're crazy thinking this is gonna work out for you. The longer he chases, the worse it gets. Baden goes dang, and now he has to walk away. Ember Spirit had to chew on a Lotus just showing up here just so somebody would be nearby. Axe doing a camp in the meanwhile. Good line team with a
Dire's
something I hesitate to call a defense down here bot as the supports cower in fear from J-Bay, while the cores are nowhere to be found. Oh no,
Dire's
boss.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Next, TP's into the middle of everybody. You'll never guess what happened. Okay, no, never mind. Swap comes out from
Roxy
VS.
gives his life for this man.
No, he doesn't. He gives 75% of his HP bar. Oh my god, big boy. I don't know if he needed that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That was a good use of the Blink Dagger if you ignore the fact that Timber Chain was off cooldown.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But it was more personal, you know? It was more of a personal insult when he did that. J-Bay finds a really big stack here in the jungle. I don't know who on Dire thought this stack was okay, but like this, if you didn't see this exact situation coming, you should have.
Radiant's middle tower is
Have
under
no
attack.
real ability to control this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nax is not really going to be able to do it for too long.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Hypothetically, I guess you could have had a situation where like VS and Axe teamed up to do it, but like you're putting 2 people on a stacked ancient camp. I don't know. It's just so much easier for Timbersaw to come up there and hit 2 buttons and get rid of it all, you know what I mean? 5k net worth advantage on Shadow Shaman Swedish Shawarma.
Why, thank you.
The Dark Seer has finished up as Shiva's guard, which is gonna be alright this game. It's,
Radiant are scanning.
like, pretty average Shiva's guard game, which means that it's a really good Shiva's guard game, and
Dire's middle
the,
tower is under attack.
when you consider the fact that it's broken. I guess maybe the better way to put it is, if Shiva's Guard was not a ridiculously good item, then this will be a pretty solid Shiva's Guard game, and it's really broken. Abaddon is just in hell.
My brother in Christ.
Middle tower has fallen.
Cannot be at a place that looks like this, line. You might be Abaddon, you are still a Pazlan. JB is going for his second Shiva's Guard, which is incredibly cringe.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Not like at this point, it seems like it's going to matter particularly much. Reedy has smashed up his lane, and so far smashed up the game to the point it's looking really hard to do anything about him. The sort of plan I mentioned earlier of getting diffusal blades, so you're not making too many illusions for Ember Spirit to just feed off of. Not like he's actually doing anything that looks like that anyway. Not yet, anyway, I guess. But, this code line dies again while I'm in the middle of talking here.
is under attack.
The plan here of not over spamming illusions and just going in on just raw right click is working out so far. It's a really good disruptor roll, but they can't actually capitalize on it in time. Axe in the deep of it just does no damage, and it's in fact the Dire who just gets chopped to bits here. Loses 3 rather. They already lost the Abaddon earlier. Loses 3 for none. Oh, and Patriots just dies behind the lines here, just to make it a little worse, as Code Line feebly watches. Get out of this plane, my man.
Dire's top tower
Get out of this environment. What do you think you're gonna do here, Line? Leave. No, no, no. This is the opposite of leave. There we go.
Probably it.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
JB is going to immediately run in here, which could mean trouble if he decides to go. Okay, he does not decide to go for that particular camp. I think he would much rather be doing a camp that is much further than this. You're not, clearly at this point, you're not going to do anything in a defense anyway. Like, my Abaddon is barely above my Hoodwink, and this is a terrible Abaddon game. You know, I guess if you really wanna know how bad it is, Abaddon has 2 negative win rates in the entire game. There are 2 heroes that have a positive win rate against Abaddon. No, it's not these 2. I'm just trying to look at the Darkseer in particular here. One of them is the Darkseer.
It works here just for some reason.
So, feels like this always happens for Darkseer. Ever since 733, every patch he's really good because the main hero of the patch only sucks against Darkseer somehow.
Under attack.
This is the most casual game in the world for Reedy. Just going wherever he wants, hitting creeps, and not worrying about anything.
Double damage.
Queued up a hard
the
next.
curry game we all want in life.
Yeah, pretty much. He is over double. Code line's not worth at this point. Hey, that was a blink dagger that actually kind of counted there. How about that? Darkseer getting rather close to Greaves. If historical trends have any indication, then Timbersaw will likely be getting those next. Axe going deep here up to T2s, trying to farm out. Ember Spirit at the T1 trying to farm out. They are doing the right thing right now. Just splitting up, trying to find whatever safe farm they can on the map, though this guy should probably be the one getting some of the easier farm here. Has finished Maelstrom at this point, small achievement, but has got it at least. Has bridged some of that very substantial net worth gap. Ah, poor Pages.
Rip.
That was a long TP too, very sad.
Call it, guys.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Axe is not even in the same galaxy. Oh no, he is like halfway to Blade Mail actually, so there is that. But to say the least, it's a little bit late. Doesn't have a single culling blade, mostly because his team has 4 kills and they all happened before he was level 6. Mech up on the PL.
Invisibility.
We're knocked out there. I gotta say, it's pretty optimistic to think that controlling this particular area with wards is going to benefit you much. I feel like this is just a zone. It doesn't matter how much vision you have. You go there, you die. This is a great Lich ult. Pretty good Disruptor ult as well, but again, nobody can really capitalize on it. Big Boy LaCroix takes all the punishment, but it's Darkseer. He's just gonna run away. That was the worst Axe ult.
Oh.
Code line running for
Get
his
him.
miserable life.
Get him.
Cannot actually get the job done. Reedy has just been casually pushing bot T3 this whole time. He has not even been thinking about showing. Okay. Did you just... I swear I just heard the defusal sound, but couldn't have been. A lot of Ember Spirit or Abaddon or somebody just diffused an PL illusion. Abaddon learning what makes this matchup so terrible, which is you have no mana at any point. What the hell? Roxy throwing Abaddon in! Oh no. Oh my god, line.
Roxy, my brother in Christ.
What the hell was that?
Alright, Roxy's done, dude. He's just, go next.
Timbersaw cutting everybody down. S&K coming out. Reedy
Won't go next. I make a game to go next.
Reedy is going to end this game with like 200 hero damage because literally all he's had to do this whole game is just walk up to buildings. Well, Axe got PL there. That's the good news. PL dodges the Disruptor ult. You can kind of see what I was talking about at the beginning about how easy it is to make Disruptor have absolutely no game at all. Timbersaw can just jump out of the kinetic field. I always call it the arena, but there's Mars in the game, so I can't call it that anymore. Timbersaw can jump out of the kinetic field. The PL can just dodge everything you do. And you're pretty much just food for him. Food for both him and the Timbersaw, who doesn't really care about Glimpse at all. They can just get all that distance right back.
Oh, guys.
Roxy Row behind the lines. They found him. Almost got the Lich there for the 5th kill in this entire lobby. Who's responsible for these kills? There's 2 on Ember Spirit, 1 on VS, and 1 on Axe. So if Roxy Row had gotten that kill, he would have had 2/5. That's centralized.
Middle tower is under attack.
Getting very close to a 10-to-1 kill ratio here.
Has fallen.
One more kill and it's going to be 8 times as many kills on the Reedy team as the Line team. Axe gets the real PL here. If he had Blade Mail, that would have been an awesome get. Sadly. Go Line playing into his own illusion here. Big Boy LaCroix starts to walk away before he realizes, oh wait, I don't need to care about this guy at all.
Is under attack.
Gets absolutely shredded.
Are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
BL.
Dire's
Just shredding buildings every second of the day. What? What? Randy. Randy. Randy, I heard you on mute.
Do it. Get it. Why not, you know? At this point, like,
Oh man.
who cares, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
You can buy any item in the game.
barracks are under attack.
Sure.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Need my Abaddon to get Hurricane Pike.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Get Hurricane Pike and I think what else? What else is an item Abaddon should probably not get?
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, if you were really clever, you could buy Blade Mail so the win rate would go down and people would stop buying it.
Dire's ancient.
I mean, it's already a trash win rate anyway, but my P3 is literally just food.
Under attack. Dire's ancient is under attack.
Golden Dragon calls the G's.
Interesting.
Dire's ancient.
No longer willing to be fountain farmed.
Radiant victory.
And that's the ball game. Well, that's the first game anyway. When you're the underdog team, you can't be this bad at drafting. I think that's really just the long and short of it. When you're an underdog team that looks like the split push sprouts, the absolute best way that you can get yourself an advantage is playing smart, right? Understanding your matchups, understanding what you're doing and why. Playing it smart. The problem is that in this game, they didn't play it smart. They played it as rough and rotten as you can. Code Line played Abaddon in one of the, 40% of games that Abaddon is basically 40%. That's a very generous estimate. Let's say one of the 20% of games where Abaddon is not just not good, but is not viable. It's very rare that there's an Abaddon game where he's not just bad, he's gone, but this is one of them. The decision to stick Line on this guy was very, very short-sighted. It really just meant that no matter what happened this game, and it went bad. It went bad for him, it went bad for everybody else. No matter what happened this game, there was never any hope. Because you're on a pause 1 that doesn't scale, that has a pretty poor pause 1 matchup, and has an absolutely unwinnable matchup against the enemy pause 3. It is actually, useless here. It doesn't do anything but die, and that's exactly what it did. The axe pick at the end. I can see what the intent was. Well, it's just looking at the PL, and Randy, I will disagree with you there. I think axe into PL is very good. The lane swap, perhaps was just trying to protect the PL there, but ended up really sinking this concept for Axe, who pretty much just spent this entire game being a punching bag, getting kicked right in the face. Part of the problem is that it's a very knee-jerk pick. The Axe is a very knee-jerk pick here. Nothing really goes too well with it, except for the Disruptor ult, potentially. And even then, that's still like a bunch of havoc, but it's no damage. And Ember Spirit, who is your only potential source of damage, got totally rocked. He just got canned. And I guess, you know, if you really look at it, he had the best game of everybody, but the best game is 2-3-0, right? Like, that doesn't mean that much.
Also, the Radiant cores died 0 times.
Yeah.
That's also an issue. Maybe a slight problem with this game.
Well, I mean, how do the Radiant cores die, Randy? How do you kill the Timbersaw in this game? What do you do to get rid of him? Pretend the game never happened. Be blind to the results. Make it 10 gray blobs with these matchups. How do you kill the Timbersaw? If you do kill the Timbersaw, how do you win? And that's the real issue. That's the real lose-lose. The 0 kills on course thing is down to execution. You definitely could have at least had a couple of cool ganks. You could have had at least a couple of cool counterattacks. But everybody just kind of flopped really early and it just all fell apart, right? But the problem is, even if all the cores on Radiant had a decent amount of deaths, how do you win the game? How do you continue playing past like 20 minutes? You can't really win at the time, nor can you really turn things around. I mean, it's just bad. They really picked themselves to death here. You cannot be drafting like this as the down team. It would be bad enough if like Reedy was doing this. You know, it would be bad enough if like Reedy's team was doing this. But you can't be the underdog and do that and win. That's not how it works. I don't know. I've heard some commentary about the individual play in this match, but I really think, outside of, you know, they really should have, I think, after it was starting to clearly not be working, maybe they should have just swapped the lanes themselves so Axe had at least kind of a game? Then at least one of your 3 cores would have something going on? I don't know. It's quite an unfortunate situation for Codeline's team. I think in your head, this is kind of how things look if you look at the matchups and the teams, and unfortunately, just the nightmare came true here. See what happens next time.